Live, News Leader 9 on Fox 54 at 7 starts now.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for the news at 7. I'm Samantha Serbin. Rosalind Giles has the night off. News Leader 9 on Fox 54 is keeping up with the holiday season, and many people in the area are safely working together to help those who have been impacted financially by the pandemic. We have a special report on local organizations hosting food giveaways. But first, the CDC is warning Americans not to travel for Thanksgiving as coronavirus pandemic surges. But it is evident that millions are traveling anyway. AAA expects to see far less travel this year, no matter what form, than in years past because of the pandemic. I spoke with AAA officials on just how many people are expected to hit the roads anyway this holiday season compared to years past.
I'm taking my mom to Eufaula,
Panama City.
I think it was 1,120 miles.
But I went and visited my parents in Atlanta, and now we're going to Panama City.
As Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, many Americans are heading to visit friends and family, despite CDC guidelines urging folks to stay home.
Most people, if they do make the personal decision to travel, then they're going to travel in their own vehicle rather than air travel.
AAA reports travel by air and by car has fallen this year, with approximately 4% fewer drivers and nearly half of flyers staying home. For those who are traveling, AAA says 95% are choosing one method over the other. As drivers take a pit stop in Columbus, they say so far the roads are light, not bumper to bumper just yet.
Not bad at all. Got straight through. No stops at all.
So far it's been really good. It's been light.
Oh, it's been great. We've been clear traffic and no real issues. And when we stop, it feels safe and social distanced, and so we're doing good.
AAA reports with many people choosing to drive instead of fly, folks need to pre-plan. Garrett Townsend with AAA says because of the coronavirus pandemic, you need to think about where you plan to stop.
Perhaps last year you didn't think about stopping in a restaurant or somewhere to eat, but you may want to think about packing your meals and extra snacks.
And AAA predicts Wednesday to be the busiest travel day, so maybe pack your patience along with those snacks. Black Voters Matter hosting a Thanksgiving food drive-through giveaway, all while reminding residents to vote today. Families were given a free box of items filled with everything you need for a full Thanksgiving dinner, including a turkey or a ham. The organization says this is one way to thank residents and give back for all they do.
We wanted to be able to give back to the community. We just want to say thank you and giving back to the community because we know that right now during COVID-19, people are struggling.
When we are coming together as a community, as a culture, we can galvanize our resources and make sure that we are feeding the least of these.
The Urban League of Columbus was on site registering folks to vote and assisting with absentee ballot requests for the upcoming runoff elections in Georgia. And in the season of giving, NFL running back Isaiah Crowell helped out by feeding the hungry in the Chattahoochee Valley today. The Carver High grads Feed the Crow Foundation partnered with Safe House Ministries, handing out Thanksgiving meals with all the fixings. Crowell played 5 seasons in the NFL and likes to pass the plate of blessings back to his hometown.
Really, I just wanted to do that just so, last time I had came in this area, I had seen there was a lot of homeless people, and I felt like it was an area that needed to be catered to.
He likes coming back around this time of the year just to see family and give back. For 6 years, we didn't see him around Thanksgiving unless we went to him.
The Feed the Crow Foundation surprised everyone with 250 Thanksgiving meals at Safe House Ministries. This is Crowell's 7th year giving back to the community.
Well, if you're stepping outside or starting to drive on your Thanksgiving travel plans early here, we are rather seasonable right now across the Chattahoochee Valley, 50s to near 60. Pretty uniform across the valley. Radar-wise, this is the good news. We are clear right now, just a few extra clouds out there. But I will tell you, this radar will start to get busy as we head especially into tomorrow evening and the night. But let's time out the next few hours for tonight. We're talking about temperatures falling through the 50s, so it won't be as chilly as it was last night when we saw many 30s and 40s. But again, any travel plans through tomorrow morning, you are definitely on the A-OK side. But again, we are tracking some unsettled weather through Thanksgiving. The weekend does look more wet than not. And next week, maybe a bout of winter coming down here into Georgia. We'll let you know coming up in the full 9-day forecast. Samantha?
All right, thanks so much, Radek. A bit of winter sounds good. Turning now to election coverage. Per President Donald Trump's campaign request, a recount is now underway of all the ballots cast in the general election in the Peach State. News Leader 9, Cindy Santafonte, sat down with Muskogee County Election Supervisor Nancy Boren to talk about what that recount process looks like.
The recount process actually started this morning at 9 a.m., but elections officials are just right now working on paperwork per required by the Secretary of State's office. As far as when the actual physical recount will happen, we can expect to see that on Monday.
This is where we will scan all 81,000 ballots that were cast on November 3rd. They will enter here and they will come out here.
Less than a week after completing the by-hand risk-limiting audit, Muskogee County Election Supervisor Nancy Boren is now setting up for a recount that will be done by machines. But the first step in the recount process is making a test batch of pre-audited ballots. That includes absentee, provisional, advanced, and military ballots.
That will be built into a pre-audited set of ballots that we will run in the scanners that you see behind me. It has to produce a perfect count or we can't use that scanner. We move on to a second scanner and test the same pre-audited ballots again.
The process will be open to the public and will have a bipartisan group of observers who may sit in the room and watch the recount process. But unlike the audit, only election staff, no volunteers, will be able to conduct the recount.
The numbers could be a little different when you have human eyes looking at a ballot versus a machine looking at a ballot. There will be different interpretations, and we saw that in the audit. We can see that again in the recount.
Come Monday, this will be the third time roughly 81,000 Muskogee County ballots will be processed. Boren says she has seen nothing like this during her tenure in Muskogee.
I've been the elections director for 25 years, and the closest thing to this was the presidential election of 2000. Of course, it was not Georgia, it was Florida that was under the spotlight, similar to how we are under the spotlight now.
The Secretary of State is requiring all 159 Georgia counties, including Muskogee, wrap up the recount process by next Wednesday at midnight. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Cindy Santafonte for WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, thank you so much, Cindy. Boren tells News Leader 9, in addition to prepping for the recount, they're also focusing on the runoff election. As of today, the absentee drop boxes were open in all 5 locations. Lots of work to do, for sure. For more on this story and more, you can check out our sister station website at WTVM.com. There you can also find the latest stories in your area by clicking on the community tab. And turning back to the holidays, the annual Eufaula Christmas Parade is canceled this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. The city says out of concern for the safety and well-being of the residents, the parade will not proceed as usual. They will resume the annual tradition, hopefully in 2021. Many people are hitting the local shops and businesses this year, and downtown Auburn is gearing up for what they call Blue Friday. That's Auburn's version of Black Friday. Jessica Cohn, the coordinator of Auburn's Downtown Merchant Association, says it's one of the biggest shopping days of the year for small businesses in town. She tells us retailers will open early at 8 a.m. Central Time for deals and doorbusters, and says this is the perfect opportunity to support your favorite local shops and spots this holiday season.
A lot of them are going to give you gift cards to like the first 25 people in line. You're going to get a better experience when you come and shop with a local business. And not only does it, are you supporting a local business, but you're also supporting your local community with the tax dollars, going back toward right here in Auburn.
Cohn says parking is free Friday. They also have a holiday passport event happening now where you can mark off each time you shop at a local business. They'll be choosing 5 people to win more than $150 of downtown gift cards. That sounds like a good gift. Coming up, with the pandemic around, it has been difficult for even food banks to deliver food, but one in East Alabama is pushing through. We'll have their story on the obstacles they faced when we come back. The Food Bank of East Alabama says they've distributed thousands of pounds of food ahead of Thanksgiving to partner food pantries, organizations, and other agencies. This comes after a challenging year of serving the increasing demand of food and supplies in the community because of the coronavirus pandemic. Director Martha Henk says that demand was even more complicated with issues in the food supply and decreased donations and empty shelves at stores.
That was concerning in the sense that I watched my food supply dwindle, go down, down, down against the backdrop of the need. We've come through a really challenging time. Now, I will say things have evened up quite a bit since then.
Henk says they're distributing about 500,000 pounds of food per month, assisting about 35,000 people. She tells News Leader 9 on Fox 54 a conservative estimate shows this is an increase of at least 5 to 8%. All right, Radek. Well, I've been loving this cooler weather, especially without any rain around. Can we expect that to continue as we prepare for Turkey Day?
Well, not so much. You'll see the opposite in terms of the dryness and the opposite in terms of the cooler air, unfortunately. Right now, our weather map does look like this. We have some rain and storms off towards the Midwest, but the southeast for this hour and tonight, heading into Wednesday morning, does remain dry and clear. So if you are heading out for any early travel plans for that Thanksgiving holiday, you're in the clear for a good amount of time, north, south, and east and west. But that will be changing, of course, as you just heard on my hint there. Again, a localized radar. Again, a few extra clouds out there, but nothing to ride home about. Temperature-wise, 60 in Columbus, 59 in Auburn. You could see some 40s back here in North Georgia and into the Carolinas. In terms of your hometown tonight, you'll notice it's not going to be as cold as it was last night. We saw many 30s and 40s on the map. Tonight, many upper 40s and 50s on that temperature map for tonight. Again, that rain chance is close to 0, so we're not dealing with any wet weather. But tomorrow is that changeable day. That's the busy travel day and also a busy day here in terms of weather heading into the evening. That radar will be lit up with a good amount of colors with some storms, but you'll notice America's You Follow, we're keeping you dry there for most of the day because as you see on our high-risk futurecast here, a lot of this doesn't arrive till those evening hours after sunset on Wednesday, but we still can't rule out a light shower or two throughout the day at any point during your Wednesday. But as you can see, the bulk of these showers that will be in and out do occur towards the midnight hour. You could see some embedded reds there. That could mean some thunderstorms as well. And we do have that severe threat off towards the north and west. It's not really within the Chattahoochee Valley, but just outside our viewing area, there's that chance of a stronger wind gust or some brief isolated severe weather, but we shouldn't be seeing that across the valley to a bigger extent besides maybe an isolated strong storm tomorrow night. 2 to 4 inches of rain, that's how much we get through Sunday. So as you can see, we're going to be in a rather wet period. So here's that holiday forecast, just breaking it down for you again. Again, for Turkey Day on Thursday, some morning showers, afternoon clearing. So hopefully by the time you're eating dinner, we're going to be talking about mainly cloudy conditions, but dry conditions. We will keep you updated. But you notice Wednesday night, tomorrow night, is the wettest time. And then the weekend, upper 60s to near 70 with scattered showers and storms. Now, it won't be raining all day on Saturday and Sunday, but definitely expect to have that rain gear. And then we're tracking a significant cold front on Monday. Look at early next week. Highs in the 50s and maybe some of you getting down into the 20s for lows. So, ooh, that's a bit of a change, right?
Bit of a change, a welcome change after all this heat, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Radek. Jury trials are coming back to Columbus, but they're gonna look a lot different than normal to keep people safe. We have the layout plan next.
Coverage you can count on. This is News Leader 9 at 7 on Fox 54.
Well, a critical part of the judicial infrastructure is preparing to resume in Muskogee County. Chief Judge Gil McBride setting out a plan laying out what jury trials will look like in the age of COVID-19. The plan was put together by judges, prosecutors, law enforcement, and criminal defense attorneys to include health screenings, excusal forms for prospective jurors, and viewing rooms for members of the public to watch trials without overcrowding a room.
So I think whichever side that you're on, whether or not it's the DA's office, whether it's the defense side, it's about time I think that everybody's happy that we'll be able to move these cases.
A few other changes to note. Jurors will report to the Columbus Ice Rink to be questioned instead of the Columbus Government Center. They are also splitting up the number of jurors into smaller groups for questioning. During the trial itself, witnesses will wear clear face masks so attorneys and jurors alike can see their faces. Trial set to begin January 4th. And Alabama's Secretary of State is receiving backlash for retweets he made last week. Today, people rallied at the Capitol speaking out against what they called, quote, divisive rhetoric. Secretary of State John Merrill retweeted a video with the caption that said, quote, Black Lives Matter's war on whites continues on camera.
We've been protesting for months, and so we've seen similar sentiments from counter protesters. We were baffled that this was our Secretary of State because it really mirrored the very words that we hear from white nationalists and white supremacists and counter protesters.
Did not do anything wrong. I saw a tweet, I retweeted it. One of my friends contacted me and said it hurt him because he was trying to defend me because he loves me. I took the tweet down. It's that simple. I mean, people that try to make more of this than it is.
Secretary Merrill says he did not read the video's caption and deleted the tweet 12 hours later after receiving a call from a friend who he said was hurt by it. The Biden-Harris team publicly introduced their first slate of cabinet-level choices today. The 6 foreign policy and national security nominees and appointees joined them on stage in Wilmington, Delaware. Biden announced several top roles on Monday. They include what would be the first woman to lead the U.S. intelligence community and first Latino to head up the Department of Homeland Security if confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Coming up, it's Iron Bowl week, time for the nation's most heated college football rivalry to see Purdue. We'll check in with Gus and the Auburn Tigers as they get ready to face the top-ranked Alabama. Next.
Now from Fox 54 Sports, Dave Plata.
It's that time for the game that the state of Alabama spends one day watching and 364 days, 365 on leap years, talking about. It's Iron Bowl week, and on paper, it looks like it's going to be a long day for the Auburn Tigers, on paper. Alabama, of course, has steamrolled its way to a 7-0 record in the #1 national ranking. Auburn, on the other hand, did have some struggles. The Tigers dropped 2 games, a not unexpected loss at Georgia, and a what the heck happened defeat at South Carolina. But no, the Tigers kept battling, last week pulling away late to beat Tennessee. They're beat up. Top running back Tank Bigsby is questionable for this weekend. Old lineman Broderius Ham is hurting as well. But Gus Malzahn likes his team, and he really likes the grit that they've shown this season.
I really think our team understands what it means to play Auburn football and be an Auburn man. And then the adversity they've overcome. I mean, this has been an interesting year, and the ups and downs, and for our guys to play their best game against LSU and then not get to play for 21 days and still find a way to beat a talented Tennessee team, even though we didn't play our best. It took us a while to get going, and this group's persevered.
Well, the Tigers in the title kick it off Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Some high school basketball for you. Russell County leading things off at the Columbus Classic Shootout at Carver High School this afternoon. Rusco and Campbell tied at 61, 2 minutes left. DJ Griffin to Devin Wright for the bucket. Warriors by 2. Spartans respond immediately, though. David Clark from the corner for 3. Campbell up 64-63. Rusco down 3 under a minute to go. Right inside once again, and that cuts it to 1. But that'd be as good as it gets. Spartans long pass. Clark the bucket. Rusco would fall 70-65, your final score. And so look at sports.
All right, before we go, can we get one last check of the weather, Raddick?
Yes, indeed. So again, Wednesday, the busiest travel day for your Thanksgiving holiday, starts off dry and ends rather wet. You could see that 50% coverage of storms Wednesday night. Thursday on Thanksgiving, mainly dry towards the evening. More storms over the weekend.
All right, thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we have continued coverage on our website, WXTX.com. The Big Bang Theory is next.